Good morning, class. Sorry, today we have to do the recording because my daughter's she just had the Invisalign installed last Wednesday. I don't know if you guys remember. And then today, this morning, the little things, the attachment on her tooth fell off. So we have to go in to see the orthodontics to put it on. Otherwise, it would make, I think it will make her teeth look really bad. So and then the only appointment is like 10:50. So I don't think I can make it to class in time. So today we are going to talk about the last time we talked about hiring, selecting, interviewing and stuff. And today we'll continue to talk about how to manage your employees. So we will talk about the human relations. The human relations in a small company is also important. This is the area usually people tend to ignore, but it actually helped interaction with your employees. Okay. So we want to have good communications and with our employees, like why we start a business, and a lot of, like nowadays we have a lot of social enterprise. That means that they start a business focusing on doing something beneficial to the society. Okay, so if you can communicate with your employees, it would, help them. Like I think they will be much more willing to stay in the company to do something, not just getting paycheck, but actually contribute to the society. And then we can communicate with the employee growth goals, the product goals, and different people involvement, and then the ethics statement. Okay, so those are the things that we can try to communicate with our employees. And also the HR can help to lead your company effectively. Okay, so leading means that it's a management function to get employees to do what you want them to do by communicating or motivating and disciplining. Okay, so this is sort of like, to me, sort of like, educating a kid, especially a teenager, like my daughter. And leadership is the ability of someone that can influence others to attain their goal. So communication with your employees, means that you kind of exchange information from one person to another one. So it's the transfer of the meaning from one person to another one. And so sometimes there's a communication process. We have source, some process, idea, thought, impression, and then they encoded it, translated into word, symbol, body movement, and then they transmitted, send as message to the receiver, to another person. Another person pick up the symbol and then decode it, retranslated them back into an idea, and then send some other form of feedback to the sender. So that's the communication. And sometimes in the communication process, we'll have a lot of noises, like maybe either receiver or the source, they will have some emotions from something else, or they get distracted. So it will become the noises, or sometimes people have their own opinion. So when they maybe listen to some of the opinion, they would form their own thought. They might not receive the whole information, but that happens during the process communication. So the barriers to effective communication: the employees tend to believe what the owner says, regardless whether or not it's true or not. Okay. And then second one, imprecise use of language. Sometimes, like I have issue with using the precise language. Okay. Sometimes some people, I don't know if you guys realize that, like some people are really bad at communication and they couldn't figure out the right terms to use, you know. So that's the part that I need to improve on. And then some people, they are really bad at another barriers, inattention and poor listening. Some people, they are bad at listening. They couldn't receive signals that well enough. So that's the communication part. And then after communicate, we also need to motivate the employees. So the motivations are the inner state that activate a person. It could be drives, the desire, or motives. And you are always motivating employees, if you are the small business owner, to positively motivate them to do something, or negatively try to make them not to do something, even though when you are not conscious of doing this. Okay. So to motivate employees, the reason to motivate employees, we can attract potential employees, and we can also improve the performance, and then we can keep the good employees. Okay, so the motivation process is we have how should I put it? Like the employees, they would what employee needs, they will respond, and then they have behavior, and then it will improve their performance or improve the job satisfaction, and go back to then you give back to what employee needs. Or if you improve the performance, you can have the incentive stimulus, and then they will respond, and then they behave, they change, they improve. So other ways to improve motivation: quality circle. Some small employee group that meet periodically to improve quality and output. Or the zero defect approach uses pride in the workmanship to get workers to do the work right the first time. So zero defect approach. I visited a factory that used the zero defect approach, and I thought that's very interesting. And they have like $1 in the pot every day, and then they try to see like how big is the bonus. So when they finally make mistake, they will get it's not like a prize, it's more like the shaming money. So if you make mistake, they will get it. Like one time they were able to put the pot, the zero defect pot, for like $300 something, almost a year. Nobody make any mistake. And finally someone made a mistake. Of course, that person got the money, but people were so upset, because they could have made the money bigger. So that they become something that people, like to do. And then some other way to improve motivation, the job enrichment, try to give employees more responsibility, more authority in their jobs. Or we can change give them different times, instead of some 8 hours shift, standard 8 hour shift. So we can I know like in California, because to avoid the traffic, people get to choose to work in different shifts. Like, a friend of mine, I think he works from 5 a.m. to 5 plus 9, 2 a.m. Yeah, he works from 5 to 2, so he can avoid the traffic, and he doesn't, he can just get up like a little bit earlier in order to go to work in time. But if you work from 8 to 5 or 9 to 6, the traffic would, in order to to compensate the traffic, he has to leave like at least 2 hours early, because the traffic is really bad. So if he need to leave 2 hours early, he might just, go to work at 5. And then the flex time, they can schedule their own hours. I think after pandemic, this has been changing. So we, I guess the companies have to try to work with that. And then some other ways, job splitting, when they divide single job into several parts and each one do some a little bit part and then, you know, try to learn, or we can share some jobs. The job is retained but shared by other employees who work in different times. And then the performance appraisal, try to evaluate worker how well they perform. And so how do we do is, you know, look first, you know, we have the different things we look at, like the reliability, cooperativeness, job knowledge, initiatives, safety, consciousness, learning ability, and all these, you know, so those are the qualities. And then the behaviors will be what's the action, conduct, function, motive, responses, and then their performance, what are their achievement, output, and the productivities. The manager's appraisal evaluate, and then what are the majors compared to the job description, you know, the rates. And then the HR, human resource management action will be, you know, rewards, pay increase, transfer, promotion, training, career progresses. So those are the things that, you know, they would have to look at. And then the counseling to help people that they have issues with either supervisor, their co-workers, or customers. So that's something that we try to, you know, help. So how to approach a trouble employee, you know, we can establish standards for job performance that you expected, and then be specific about certain behavior criteria. Okay, like absentees, poor performance, and then but we want to make sure we focus the only criticisms to the job performance. You don't want to do personal attack. Okay, you want to be firm and consistent. And so on and so forth. So emphasize on the confidentiality. You know, make sure nobody knows about it. Otherwise, you know, people will be stressed about it. And job related area needing counseling, health and safety. Okay, something that in retirement or termination, that's also, you know, some of the stuff, discipline, stress. So all these HR will have to kind of, you know, have someone to do something related. And then imposing discipline. So make sure they you enforce the system of rules regulation so that you get older. That's something I definitely need to work on for my daughter. So, you know, I need to make sure you enforce the discipline, the rules. The positive discipline, usually you try to like let's see, like try to keep reminder, and then you know, try to see, oh, okay, can you do this next time? And if they say yes, and then that's the positive discipline. The negative discipline will be, you know, you are not supposed to do this, you're not supposed to do that. So that's the negative discipline. But to define rules, you know, to set define rules to discipline the employee illegally, you need to have the rules, and then make sure the employees know them. And when you know there's a violation, you have to act promptly. And but you need to have the fact about the violation, okay, and allow employee opportunity to explain the behavior. So that's the part I need to also work on with my daughter. And then to set up tentative course of action, evaluate them, and decide what action to take, and then take the disciplinary action when they have when you observe different contract and the equal employment opportunity procedures. So make sure you also don't violate some of the laws. Yeah. And then set up and maintain a record of action taken and follow up on the outcome. So judicial due process of discipline, that you have to, establish a rule behavior, set the prescribed penalty for violating the rules, and imposing the penalty after you believe that there is a violation of the conduct. Okay. So right to work laws, it actually permits state to prohibit union from requiring workers to join a union. Okay, so in theory, we can pass, I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, Starbucks employee, they vote to form the union. So stay with or without right to work laws. So stay with the right to work laws means that they don't, they can permit, they permit the state to prohibit union from requiring worker to join the union. Okay, so we have some states, they actually allows prohibit the union from requiring. So they actually don't allow union to force employee to join the union. Okay, and then some states that they have the no right to work laws. So you can see here, these are the different states, and we are the one without right to work laws. So our state doesn't prohibit the union to force employees to join the union. Management prerogative clause. So to bargain with union, if your company, I don't know if how many small business have union, but you would understand from the company perspective. You have to as an employer, what do you have the right to act freely without interference from the union. So employment at will, terminating. So it means that employer may hire or fire workers with without cause. Organizing the organizational structure, determine the activities, what activities are necessary to achieve the firm's objective, and assign them to responsible person. Delegation, assign responsible to subordinate for some activities, give them the authority to perform the activities. Sometimes like a department chair, in our school, our department chair, when he's not in the office, and then sometimes if we need some signature, he will have some delegations, they will sign on his behalf. Yeah. So how well do you delegate? Do you think you're the only one that actually knows how the job should be done, or do you actually try to train people? Okay, so these are the questions you ask yourself. Are you a perfectionist? Okay, so you need to try to learn how to delegate. Yeah. Some other ways to organizing small business. So we have a line organization, they just have direct line of command over employees. And then sometimes we have line and staff, we have some specialists, they will work on different functions. So And then informal organizations, especially in a small business, we just have some interpersonal relationship, and nobody, there's no real hierarchy in the organization. So so that's the informal organizations. So the simplified line organization, we have sales, operations, we have finance, and then they have different staff underneath them. Yeah, and then the line and staff, we might have personnel, legal staff, accounting, controlling, and then you can also you have the line here. They have the sales, they have their own department, sales, operations, finance, and then someone that's independent from the line managers. Function, perform, product sold, process use. So activities, sometimes by activities, function performed, like accounting, marketing, finance, or by the product that's sold or the process they used. So they will have different type of organization or areas of the geographical area, the customer segment, and then different project. So we have some mom and pop business. So we have mom supervisees. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to my boss and his wife. So the store operation, long-term planning, accounting. Well, the mom has the accounting and payroll and personnel. So yeah, so some of the small business, they use this, like depending on the owner, if it's co-owner, depending on co-owners, what they are good at. So the organization chart, just what we saw here, shows authority responsibilities between in the businesses. And then we have also team management, try to improve the performance, the problem solving teams. They can meet regularly to discuss, different things, that different tasks they want to tackle. Or we have the self-managing work team. They can take over the managerial duties and then produce some entire product. We have also cross-function teams from different areas where we can work stuff together. Okay, so that's the HR that we talk about. And this Wednesday, I have my checkup. So, and like I mentioned to you, I set up the appointment like a year ago, and I didn't know I have Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. So a lot of my appointments are set. We set the appointment on Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday, again, we won't have class. Okay. So I'll see you guys next Monday, I guess, but I will record videos for chapter 12.